I'm seeing red again. These thoughts are stuck in my head. Somebody hold me back. I'm losing patience. So don't give me an excuse, 'cause I got nothing to lose. My fists are black and blue from hitting the pavement. Don't get in my way. It don't set me off, 'cause I'm not somebody you'd wanna cross. This wanted man got guilt on his hands, and I'm not somebody you'd understand. Feeling dangerous. I'm feeling dangerous. Let ashes burn to dust. I'm ruthless in my blood. I'm feeling dangerous. Don't get too close to me. You might not like what you see. I'm ruthless in my blood. I'm feeling dangerous.
Yeah, there's nobody that's coming to save me. Trapped in the dark, but truly that's what made me. Yeah, I'm built different, just look at all of the scars. If I didn't make the change, the world would tear me apart. I've realized to survive I had to be a beast. This determination in my heart has set me free. So can you tell me now who I got to fear? They try to knock me down, but now I'm still standing here. I use my pain, yeah, that's what makes me dangerous. Always been the underdog, pushed through all the changes. Mama always told me to be careful who you hang with. I never switched up, yeah, that's what made me dangerous. Look what I overcame, look how far I made it. They'll never knock me down, one day I'll be celebrated. Made my peace with all the harm that came to us. It made me this way, yeah, it got me feeling dangerous.
I'm feeling dangerous. Let ashes burn to dust. I'm ruthless in my blood. I'm feeling dangerous. Don't get too close to me. You might not like what you see. I'm ruthless in my blood. I'm feeling dangerous.
Yeah, look, I'm feeling dangerous. Yeah, I'm feeling dangerous. They can't stop us. They can't stop us, no. They can't stop us.
Feeling dangerous.
Feeling too dangerous. Feeling too dangerous. Yeah, we feeling too dangerous.
Feeling dangerous. Don't get in my way. Don't set me off, 'cause I'm not somebody you'd wanna cross. I'm feeling dangerous. I'm feeling dangerous. Let ashes burn to dust. I'm ruthless in my blood. I'm feeling dangerous. Don't get too close to me. You might not like what you see. I'm ruthless in my blood. I'm feeling dangerous.
Yeah,
I'm feeling dangerous.
yeah, let's go.
I'm feeling dangerous.
What I got to fear? Nothing. Yeah.
Get it figured out, Austin. Get it figured out. We got the right background up. We got the right host on the screen. What's good, everybody? It's Sunday. It's Christmas Eve, and we got some presents to unwrap. Let's go. There's 9 games today. There's 3 games tomorrow. There was 2 games yesterday. There's football every day. And I couldn't be happier. This is the most wonderful time of the year solely because of football. Nah, I'm capping. As my co-host would say, I'm capping. And he's here today.
Obviously capping. Capping Christmas, man. That's a new low, Austin. But no, definitely Sunday football, man. We're getting close to the playoffs. Every game is like good for some reason. Like I don't get how that's possible. So this is an exciting time, like Israel says, is football, family, and food. You got to include food with that. That's what holiday season is all about. So happy holidays, all of Syl Nation, everyone that's rocking. If you're getting time off work or whatever, enjoy the weekend. Watch football.
Yes, and enjoy the family, watch some football. If there's some people in your family who don't know about football, learn them up on all the storylines that are going on. Because that's the most intriguing part to me about football. Is like not only is the games and like the action in sports, but like the storylines behind it, right? That's like on top of everything. That's what makes it, so awesome to follow. And the through lines through the week. And the through line through this week, some people made it back to the practice field who we thought were going to start this game or make the game. And as we said, there were some good games yesterday. Didn't expect them to be. Thought the Bengals versus Steelers game was going to be the game. But that ended up being a blowout out of nowhere. And the game ended up being Chargers versus the Bills. And we thought that was going to be a blowout. So it was like they flipped the script on both those games. So how do you feel about both those?
It was still intriguing. Yeah, that Steelers game was still intriguing, though it was a blowout. You were, as far as me, I was glued to it because I'm like, how are they going to show up for Coach Tomlin, right? And that's what the Steelers did. George Pickens, showed up. Other people was blocking and things like that. So it's like, and that's what it is. That's what it's all about. That's what Tomlin said. Again, he's a top 5 coach, in this league right now, and he was like, no one will be talking about this if we were winning.
Right.
What I mean? So it's like y'all gotta, keep the main thing. If we were winning, no one would care that Pickens is not blocking. Because we're losing, and now they go out there in front of the Pittsburgh crowd. It's a lot of pride. These men to make it to this league. Obviously I never tried to play football really. I was more of a basketball person, but I've known people in my family to make it to this league. Like I have a cousin that's this is no joke. He's on I think he's on the Panthers. But his name is Michael Jordan. He's offensive tackle. Yeah, he's actually in the NFL.
That's awesome.
How hard it was for them to get to the league. Every game does matter, but when they quit on their coach, right? That's what we always gauge. And that's what I was saying yesterday, Austin. I said they're going to show up for Coach Tomlin. Like I know they should lose this game, but it's something about that inner pride that like all men have. Yeah. It's for them to for them to be that top tier percent to even make it to the league, that kicks in for certain moments. And that's what they did for Coach Tomlin. It was like, now we're going to show up and ball in front of the home crowd.
Good. And I think that was something that you said. The Steelers were going to give the home crowd a Christmas gift on before Christmas Eve. But as you said, these are the best athletes in the world. You don't make it to the NFL by not working your ass off to get there. And I know exactly what you're talking about too, because I had the privilege, no one in my family, but I had the privilege of going to school with a couple of kids who had made it to the NFL. And the one kid who actually made it to the NFL, he's on your Bears. I don't know if you remember, I forget his name now. He's a lineman. His name was Josh something. Josh Beekman. I don't know if you remember him. But he was from Boston College, and then he played, and you guys picked him up in the first round, I want to say.
Interesting.
Yeah, first or second round. But Josh Beekman was a starting tackle, I want to say, or guard for you guys for a very long time. And then he went to a couple other teams before he ended up retiring, but that was a big deal. Somebody from our town is in Boston College, first of all, and then he goes to the NFL.
Everyone doesn't do that, right? And so my cousin, he was drafted by the Bengals, I think a year or two before Burrow.
Oh, dang.
Got to the league. And then his contract went out. They didn't re-sign him, so he went to the Panthers. And that was the year the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. Like the year he left. So I was like, dang, hey, you know what I'm saying? He got his contract,
He's still getting paid.
You know what I'm saying? But I was like, that was kind of wild. Like, that would have been cool, like, to know someone that was in the Super Bowl. It was that close.
Damn. Now he's on the worst team in the NFL. Sorry, dude. Sorry, MJ.
Hey,
Shit.
he'll take it personally. I take shots whenever we talk. I take shots at the Panthers all the time because he knows I'm a Bears fan. So.
Bro, you should try and get him. We gotta get him on the channel, bro.
That's interesting. Yeah, I may have to throw some
a line out
words
there.
out.
Yeah, throw a line out there. See if we can get him on the channel. And we have all love for NFL players, whether unless they're talking shit to us. Then we'll be like, all right, bro, what did you do? And then we'll start looking at your stats, bro. Don't start talking crap to us.
That's
what it is, dog. That's what it is.
Wild.
But as long as anybody though, I really do respect people who make it to the NFL and are able to stay in the league. Like to make it there, have a chance is one thing, but to stay in the league, that's really showing like a different type of pedigree that you have as a person.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's work.
To get multiple contracts. I mean, I think that that means a lot because I think the average career, I think it's like 3 to 4 years. I think.
Yep.
Years. So it's like if you get to that second contract, you're beating the curve right there.
Yeah, you're on the upper echelon of players, and it shows like true dedication in my aspect, and that's why I really like respect it. If you've been in the league for over 5 years, like kudos to you. Over 10 years, like you know what I'm saying, like clap. But yeah, Bengals, they ended up coming up with an L. The Jake Browning story, you're gonna have a bad game every once in a while. You're gonna have a bad game every once in a while. I still got faith in him.
Real quick, according to social media, they're calling Jake Brown, and basically that was his Jeremy Lin, his Linsanity.
Yeah, what? I saw that.
Like, this dude, he's like playing like upper tier quarterbacking. He made honorable mention on your Mount Passmore every week because he was putting up the numbers.
He's the numbers.
I was like, this dude, he has to come back down to earth like one day. But I do think a big part, we'll keep it real. We do this for Purdy and for everybody else. Jamar Chase wasn't out there. I'm sorry, bro. He's like top 3 receiver in the league. If you don't have your best weapon out there, that is going to affect your offensive attack.
Absolutely, man. And even if like he hasn't been getting a lot of numbers lately, he pulls a lot of eyes and gets other people open. Like that's the whole point of having a threat on the field is you have opportunities for everybody else. So yeah, it's a tough game, but very good win by the Steelers. They scored over 20 points, man. They scored over 30 points. That's huge.
Mason Rudolph, how and why, right? But that's what I said. It's about Coach Tomlin. The Steelers, they are a half a game out of the playoffs right now. I still don't anticipate them, gutting out, games like this, but this does hurt the Bengals. They're tied, with the Steelers as well, half game out of the playoffs. It's gonna be a struggle. I mean, if Jamar Chase is out, that's hurting the Bengals' chance. I don't think like the Steelers did anything like spectacular. They hit him with a couple big plays, and Browning turned the ball over. You turn the ball over on the road, you're likely going to lose that type of game. But that means every Bengals game, every Steelers game is going to be must-watch rest of the season because it's playoff implications.
Yep, playoff implications on the line. And we had Bills-Chargers, playoff implications on the line for the Bills. And the Chargers, they didn't sleep this game away, man. They made it interesting.
The game of the day. Like this game, like I swear I had it on just like because first it was on the Peacock app, right? So I had to give love to Universal. That's a side note with that. We give love to Comcast, NBC Universal. But it's like they have the Peacock app. It was an exclusive game. And I was wondering, I wonder what the numbers are. I'm looking forward to see what the numbers they got for that game. But I had it on for the first quarter. I figured out I still subscribed to Peacock. I didn't know I was paying them this whole time. I was like, y'all been charging me? Like, how much money y'all get from me? But so I had it on just, in the background, right? And it's like the Chargers up late in the game. They was up 22-21. And the Bills turned the ball over. And I was like, wait, because like the whole game, I'm thinking like, the Bills, they'll figure it out. Josh Allen hit him with like an explosive play to Gabe Davis.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen was doing his thing. He's a freak, a freak of nature. And I was like, that figured out. It's close. Then they fumbled the ball. The Chargers have the ball with the lead in the fourth quarter. I was like, what is going on, bro? Like, but that's why when you love NFL football, like you watch every game. I don't care if the other team is winless. When you get to like week 10, week 12, 14, 16, these are professionals and they're going to show up for that paycheck. And kudos to the Chargers for showing up for whatever their interim coach name is.
Gift Smith, dude.
You called it, though. You called it also. You said the interim coach, like that's what happened with the Raiders, with all these other teams. When your coach gets fired, that next game they show up. And the Chargers showed up a backup. What's his name again? Easton Stick. Backup court.
Bro, these are generated names, dog. These are made up NPCs.
Player type name. Like this guy, he played an efficient game, threw the ball, just over 30 times, but over 200 yards, very efficient. Austin Eckler talking about like, man, fall from grace. Don't draft that guy in your fantasy league.
Yikes.
Like that guy. But Joshua Palmer, because I believe who's their top dog? I can't believe I forgot this guy's name for the receiver.
Keenan Allen?
Yeah, Keenan Allen, I think, sat out this game. So Joshua Palmer, who was hurt most of the year, he was back again, just getting targets. And it's like they're trying to work with something with the Chargers. They're going to get a whole new coach next year, whole new staff. They, they may go after John Harbaugh or Bill Belichick or Mike Tomlin. Like they're going to try to go big, but they showed fight. I don't see them doing this the rest of the season, of course, but good on them. It's more about the Bills. Hey, you went against an inspired team, and you found a way to win. Right. The Bills right now are number 6 in the AFC playoff seeding. All they got to do is handle business, and they'll be in the playoffs.
Interesting road win for the Bills, but it's a good win for them. Keeps their momentum going, especially after really riding off into the sunset on the Cowboys. They had to go against the Chargers. They probably thought they were going to win this game. It might have been like a trap game almost for them, but they found a way to win on the road, and that's what you got to do in December. You got to find a way to win, especially on the road. But let's get those 1 p.m. games. They're probably kicking off right now. Actually, the Commanders Jets. I'm surprised. This is probably the first time the Jets have been favored all season since they've had Aaron Rodgers. But the Jets are favored in this game. 3-point spread over the Commanders. And the Jets are at home where they played their best football. So if Zach Wilson is starting today and Commanders still have Ron Rivera as a head coach, I'm going to go with the Jets taking the W. This might be a close game. This might be an interesting game that we see like some weird highlights from Jets versus Commanders because both these teams are out of the playoffs. And they're just playing to play really at this point. So this would have been the game that we saw Aaron Rodgers come back if the Jets were still in it. So.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah,
like just how it was that close to just some kind of wild storyline. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll keep it simple. I think the Jets at home, the owner of the Jets recommitted to the coaching staff, saying we're not going to make any crazy changes.
Oh wow!
This year was marred by injury. We understand. I mean, like if y'all go back to week 1, like the hype we had for the Jets game, like and then the pregame ceremony, Aaron Rodgers come out holding the flag on 9/11. I was like, bro, this is too much hype, and then he just blows his Achilles. It's like, wow, like so deflating. So obviously, you will hope these billionaire owners are have brains and they realize injuries marred the season, but as far as today, the Jets is going to show a lot of heart, just like they showed a couple weeks ago at home, to just win it for the fans, you know what I mean, and say, hey, we got some pieces here, and it's about next season. But Jets, yeah, definitely. I think I let's see, did I bet on this game? I mean, you know what I'm saying? -3 is that's an easy spread right there for the Jets to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially against the Commanders with no defense since they traded it all the way.
They traded all the
How about them Cowboys, dog? We'll talk about them. We're going
to talk about your Cowboys, man.
We'll talk about them, dude. We'll talk about them, dude. Wait a second. We got Lions, Vikings. It's only a 2.5-point spread for the Lions, dude. I wonder. I think it's an indictment on the Lions, in my opinion. Like what Vegas thinks of the Lions. But the Vikings, they haven't keeled over. Nick Mullins like came back and played a good game for them, and they actually did they end up winning last game, or they just lost? I believe the last game they played, the Vikings.
They had a close loss against the Bengals, I believe.
Yeah,
but Nick Mullins put up, some pretty good numbers. Just some turnovers got him.
Right, and that's what's going to happen with backup quarterbacks. I believe there's been like 58 different starting quarterbacks this season. There's only 32 teams, so yeah,
Crazy.
Nick Mullins being one of them. But I think the Lions, they got to do what they got to do. They're kind of on the way back. Last week was a win, but it wasn't a great. In my opinion, it was like they're going to win this game. 40 points was a pretty big, point differential, I guess. Coming back from how they lost against for 2 weeks in a row, but I'd be surprised if we see that same Lions team on the road against the Vikings. Minnesota's a hard place to play, and the Lions don't play well on the road. We've seen that all season long, but gonna go with Lions. Obviously, I don't think the Vikings are playing for much. I mean, they might still have an outside chance of making the playoffs.
They're playing for the playoffs, yeah.
So that's why probably this spread is close as it is, but I still think the Lions edge it out and get the win. I won't be surprised if they lose, though. Let me just caveat myself. Well, what do you think's gonna happen in Minnesota, bro?
I'm scared of this line, right? This was a line I wasn't gonna touch all week if y'all put money on these games, because it's like the Lions, they're a complete team, but those division games have been very interesting for these Lions, especially since Thanksgiving. My Bears got him one time, should have beat them twice. The Packers did beat them. These are all division games, y'all. The Vikings are also in the NFC North, and the Vikings have a lot to play for. They got all their weapons back. Justin Jefferson had a very healthy week last week, even though they lost to the Linsanity Jake Browning last week. So Nick Mullins, not that bad. Yeah, you got to take care of the ball, of course. But the Vikings have a lot to play for at home, in the Dome, division against the Lions. Vikings are the number 7 seed right now in the NFC, fighting off the Seahawks. They're both tied for the 7th spot. I'm picking the Vikings for the win because I don't trust the Lions. I do not trust the Lions on the road in the division scrappy game. The Lions will still win a division, and then they will lose to the Rams in the first round of the playoffs. But right now, the Vikings will get this win to, again, try to hold off the Seahawks.
I hear you, man, and they got to. I don't think they're beating that spread, bro. I'd be surprised. But Vikings still in the hunt, and the defense definitely isn't gonna sit down. That's why I'm saying why I think the Lions. I don't think they score 40 points today on this Vikings defense. I don't think that happens. But I still think they get the win because they have to, and they are the better offense, in my opinion, comparatively with no Kirk Cousins. Man, what a different season this would have been with Kirk Cousins on the Vikings, bro. Woo! Because they've been a good team, man. They've been a good team. But we got Browns, Texans, a battle of the backups. Because we have no CJ Stroud, and we got Joe Flacco playing like the Super Bowl winning quarterback that he's been. I think the line should be bigger, actually, towards the Browns more, instead of just 3 points. And with Case Keenum, he's playing well enough, right? Texans got a good road win last week with Case Keenum. So they have a chance. They're at home. The Browns are a good road team because that defense travels, right? So I'm going to say Browns gets the win on the road, and the Texans have been beat at home. Earlier this season, they had that game against the Jaguars, a division matchup against division championship almost against the Jaguars. And the Jaguars went in there and they won it. So I think the Browns are going to do the same, and the Browns have to save face kind of too for their division, run. I believe, are they in first right now? The Browns, the AFC North. Oh, it's no.
They're behind the Ravens.
The Ravens. I always forget about the Ravens because they're a whole different tier, a class above them, right? They feel like a different division. But yeah, the Browns, they have to save face for their playoff bid, and obviously the Texans do too. But I just think the Browns, they have a team to go into the playoffs now. The Texans are kind of just limping their way towards the playoff race. So I think that's why the Browns get the win on the road. What do you think is going to happen in Houston today, bro?
Well, everyone should know how we feel about Joe Flacco, right? Like Joe Flacco, he just shows up, just put the team around him, and Flacco could be that missing piece for, about 20 teams out there. If you have a defense, if you have a good offensive line, if You have a running game. Just insert Joe Flacco and you'll win some games, right? So, I'm all with the Browns on the road here. The Texans, CJ Stroud, he hasn't, completely come back from, I think, that concussion protocol. So he's out again this week. That would have gave him a fighting chance against this, complete Browns team. As you mentioned, who's Case Keenum is the backup for the Texans. Nico Collins is back, that star receiver who we never heard of before. Nico Collins is back for the Texans. Devin Singletary had an incredible game last week, kind of carried him to a win on the running game, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Browns are just that good. This is the team. They went into Baltimore and beat the Ravens. That's the last team to beat the Ravens. Like, it seemed like 2 months ago that the Ravens lost the game. That was the Browns, and they had a competent quarterback, Deshaun Watson, before he messed up his shoulder. So, they have Joe Flacco now. I'm going for the Browns. The Texans, it doesn't mean the Texans is totally out of the playoff race. If they lose this, CJ Stroud may come back next week, and they still have a shot, in the AFC South, because the Jags are, you know how I feel about the Jags and their quarterbacks. So they still have a chance always. But, yeah, Browns, I think this is actually a good spread of -3 right there as well. It's kind of some layup spreads here. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
you betting out there, y'all?
Yep.
It's a couple there. It's kind of easy.
And just to give a quick update to the people, the Browns are up 7-0. I'm going to give ourselves the caveat on these picks too when we go through here. The next pick we have is Packers-Panthers. And let me just go to that game real quick and see. It's 0-0 Packers-Panthers right now. So to caveat this, Packers are 6-8. Panthers are 2-12. The Packers are 2-5 on the road though. And the Panthers, their only 2 wins are at home. But I've said it all year long. You'd be a fool to pick the Panthers. Only twice we've been wrong all season long, not picking the Panthers. So I'm going to go with the Packers. That's a 3.5 point spread, which I think should actually be bigger. I don't think that's a big, there's another layup line for you right there if you're betting. Take the Packers and take the spread for the Packers too. I think the Packers are going to get this win because they're still playing for the playoffs. Panthers are playing for the number 1 draft pick still. But what do you think is going to happen in Carolina today, man?
Yeah, like you said, it's about the Packers. They still have a lot to play for. Only 1 loss out of the playoff race. So, Matt LaFleur and the staff, they're still, a playoff level coaching staff. Jordan Love showed us a lot. I was hating on him all season until like the last month. And he showed up, since Thanksgiving, right? That's when you kind of show who you are. The Packers, they may not be quite a playoff team because their running back's been kind of banged up. Christian Watson is out. That's their best receiver. He was balling since Thanksgiving. So that's a tough blow for their playoff chances. But as far as this game, you're playing the Panthers. Bryce Young, number 1 pick, their formula for him is to not throw the ball more than 25 times. That means they don't have a good offense, right? So the Packers should win this game. And, yeah, that's an easy spread as well, too.
Yes, absolutely. And, we know you made it when you got bots in the chat, bro. Let's go. You made it when you got bots in the chat. Yeah. That's the easy game. The easy game for us is that Packers-Panthers. But Seahawks-Titans, man, this is an interesting one. You got NFC versus AFC. 2 teams that don't normally play each other, and the Seahawks are on the road. They actually came, sort of to the East Coast, not all the way to the East Coast, but sort of to the East Coast in Tennessee. And it's 7-7 versus 5-9. Titans aren't sleeping every game away. We've seen that, right? We've seen that Will Levis can actually keep them in games. So maybe we'll see that. Geno Smith is actually back starting today. So it's his first start back after a couple slew of injuries. I actually wouldn't have been opposed to keeping Drew Lock in there. I mean, they won the last game with Drew Lock against the Vikings. So I would say, if Geno goes out, Drew Lock is still a good backup for them. And I actually think that they get the win on the road, keep their playoff hopes alive. All those 7-7 teams in the NFC right now. If you drop a game, this is the time of the year where you can't lose. Like, you have to win to keep yourself in. And if the Seahawks drop this game, I feel like they're going to drop off the playoff hopes just because some teams are going to go to 8-7, and I don't feel like they're going to lose again because after this week, for a lot of those teams, it goes back to the division games, and some of those divisions are already sewn right up. So you're going to go against a team that you should win and you should beat for a lot of the 7-7 teams. But still, with that being said, Seahawks get the win on the road, keep their playoff hopes alive. Geno Smith's give them something as they come back, but I think it's a close game. And I think that 3-point spread is actually right on the line, like right on the money, just because Mike Vrabel is going to keep that team in the game. And we've seen that over the past couple of games. Like, he is a good coach still. I don't think he's going anywhere. 5-9. They just need to make some changes, and they need to not have injuries. Ryan Tannehill was never going to get you into the playoffs or a Super Bowl. So I don't know why they had him as a starting quarterback to start the season anyways. But that's just me as someone who likes to watch football and loves quarterbacks. I don't think Ryan Tannehill has ever been the answer. But what do you think is going to happen in Tennessee today, bro?
Well, it's funny. Tannehill is starting today. Will Levis got hurt last week.
Oh, man. Put my foot in my mouth.
Tannehill is back. Geno Smith
mouth.
is back. Now, I think Coach Pete Carroll for the Seahawks, he's an old school coach, so he's not going to let his quarterback lose their job because of injury. That's the old school mentality. So Drew Lock, had an improbable win last week against the Eagles. Again, one of those games where you're like, oh, should I watch this game? Oh, this is a good game. That's what happened last week. I think Geno's going to come back with a vengeance because he was actually starting to heat up before he got hurt. He was starting to kind of get a good rapport with DK Metcalf. Metcalf was beasting for a couple weeks. They got this rookie receiver. I forget his name. It's like a long name, hyphenated name. Yep. He started to kind of wake up as well, too, and then Tyler Lockett as well. So they got the weapons. Kenneth Walker, the third, running back. The Seahawks is kind of like the Lions to me. Like, they're a really, complete average team, and they can hang with a lot of teams. This is a game I think the Seahawks should win. I think they're going to have some extra juice because they're tied with the Vikings, again, for that final playoff spot. I think it's coming out of those two teams fighting for that spot. So, the Seahawks got to show up. And, no Will Levis, Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, I like that spread as well, too, for the Seahawks.
That's tough. That's tough, man. That's the way it goes for them Titans fans, though. It's been one of those years, unfortunately. And I feel bad for the Tennessee Titans fans because they used to have, always have a threat with Derrick Henry, and they were in the playoffs, going against the Patriots and stuff like that. So what a fall from grace a little bit, I guess, for the Titans franchise. But not a fall from grace. The Colts, man, on the road in Lemon Peppertown, ATL, 2.5 point spread, though. Only 2.5 with the Falcons, who've been struggling on offense, and Desmond Ridder, who's been struggling on offense. Colts haven't been struggling, in my opinion. I feel like they've gone in and done what they've had to do. Gardner Minshew might, make some mistakes here and there, but at the same time, the Colts defense is so opportunistic, and they're not like anything to be laughed at by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I keep saying it. They got rid of Shaq Leonard, and they're still just as good, if not better, after doing that. But what do you think? This is your second home away from home. What do you and you love picking the Falcons at home? So this is kind of like, who are you gonna go with today in Atlanta, bro?
Yeah, well, it's been a weird year for Lemon Pepper. It hasn't kind of been working for us this season. Like last season was perfect for that. But I mean, the Colts, they've been a real scrappy team, right? They've really been real scrappy and getting things together. So it's like I've been picking against the Colts the last couple of weeks, kind of keeping them as a bubble team, but they keep winning, right? So this is a game I feel like I should pick the Colts. You got Taylor Heineke is starting for the Falcons quarterback, instead of Ridder. So that gives the Falcons a better chance because Ridder's terrible as a quarterback. So, but it's not like Heineke. It's not like, Heineke's like killing the charts either. So it's like this is a game I feel the Colts should win, but the spread is favoring the Falcons a little more at home. I'm going to go with the Colts. Jonathan Taylor's back in this game. So you got him and Zach Moss, though Michael Pittman is out, their top receiver. So that's going to be a blow to that passing attack. But like I said, you got JT, you got Zach Moss kind of lean on the running game, Minshew magic. I just don't trust the Falcons offense. Like the Falcons, like, what are they? You know what I mean? Like they kind of self-destructed in this that NFC South, right? So I'm gonna go. I feel like I said, I feel like I've been picking against the Colts too much. They've been winning, so now I'm gonna pick them. I think they may lose now, but I'm gonna go for the Colts for the win.
I think they might lose, but I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I'm staying away from that spread as well too. Like that scares me.
And right now it's 7-7. The first possession of the game was the Colts. They had it for 9.5 minutes, and the Falcons ended up having for just under 8 minutes. So time of possession is going to be a big factor in this game. And when you have a running attack like both these teams, it's like, all right, well, where are you going to get your passes in? Where are you going to get that in? I'm going with the Colts too. I don't think they have any reason to lose this game. The Falcons, like, yes, they're playing for the playoffs, but I think, in my opinion, watching the games that I had the last couple of weeks, I think it's all the Buccaneers to lose. They just have to continue to play consistent and continue to win. And the Buccaneers have that division sewn up. The Falcons, man, you got to figure it out. Taylor Heineke is a great backup quarterback, but I don't think he's like the starting quarterback of the future. And Desmond Ridder obviously has been not a hit. It's been a miss. So they got to figure it out going forward in the future. And this is what happens after you have a marquee quarterback or a Super Bowl caliber quarterback and you get rid of them, or you think you're going to do better off. Like, we can do better. The grass is greener, right? They got rid of Matt Ryan. What have they been since? You know what I mean? Like, maybe Matt Ryan wasn't the greatest for you guys, but you guys haven't been consistent since you got rid of Matt Ryan. So obviously he meant something to your team. That's just my opinion on that. But I still think, Atlanta right now, they don't have enough, and the Colts will figure it out with Minshew Mania. And was it Shane Steichen? I believe that's his name. The Colts head coach Steichen. I know it's his last name at least. He actually might be coach of the year if it wasn't for the Texans head coach. And I always forget the Texans head coach name, but if it wasn't for him, I think Steichen would have the coach of the year nod, in my opinion. But it's just there's no you brought the Texans back in prominence. I feel like you deserve the head coach of the year nod for that. But yeah, Colts for the win on the road, 7-7 right now. We'll see how that game plays out. And the game I'm been waiting for, Buccaneers Jaguars at 4 p.m. It's a 1.5 point spread. There's two games at 4 p.m. that 4:30 that are 1.5 point spreads. The biggest storyline of this week is that the Jaguars have Trevor Lawrence back. Somehow he got out of concussion protocol, the same protocol that CJ Stroud has been in for like 4 weeks now. Trevor Lawrence got out of it in a week. I know. I guess if you don't have a big brain up there, you ain't gonna get a whole lot messed up. But Buccaneers are at home. They have won their last 3. They have to play in to the playoffs and win every game to get into the playoffs. And I think they have more than enough to beat the Jaguars. I think the spread is a little bit of a disrespect on the Buccaneers. Like, the Jaguars, they haven't been winning every game this past couple of weeks. They've been struggling at best. And I know that if anybody's named not Josh Allen on that defense, like, who are you? I think the Buccaneers defense is going to surprise Trevor Lawrence today. And I think that the offense is going to surprise the defense too, because, again, we're not getting enough respect. It's fine, though. I'd rather the Bucs don't get any respect and the people count us out and we're underdogs the whole way going in, because then you won't expect us to do what we do. And that's the best part, to have a surprise on the other team. Like, oh, did you forget we have a Hall of Fame wide receiver? Did you forget there's probably another Hall of Fame wide receiver right next to him? Chris Godwin should be, in my eyes, he doesn't have enough numbers, but he's just as good. And the possession wide receiver. Did you forget we have Rachaad White, one of the top leading rushing running backs, one of the top rushers too, who's had over 100 yards, over 100 all-purpose yards too, for the last like 4 games. This team is rolling. I think the Jaguars are struggling just enough to where we can punch them in the mouth, and the Buccaneers get a nice, convincing home win, I think, today at 4 p.m. But what do you think is going to happen in Tampa today against the Jaguars, bro?
Oh, it's a totally pick 'em game, man.
Yeah.
Like, Vegas is not giving us any nod with that for it to be slightly favored to the Jags on the road, but just a 1.5 like spread. That's a pick 'em. But the Jags been reeling. I mean, they lose about 3 straight. Trevor Lawrence, dinged up a little bit as far as in his head. He cleared the protocol, so it's likely going to play. But I don't know, just something's been really uncomfortable about the Jags for the past month. But since Thanksgiving, they haven't been built, for these times. I mean, they just haven't. They had a credible run last year. people didn't see them coming, with Coach Peterson and that staff. But Trevor Lawrence has not taken the next level at all. I hate to keep making it about Trevor Lawrence, but it's just, that you want to see some kind of leap. Like, we remember Josh Allen, his third season, he took a leap. That's what quarterbacks do. You take that next step. The Jags, they're a scrappy team. Travis Etienne is a great weapon on offense. Like I said, the defense of Josh Allen is great, but I don't know. The quarterback is pretty average to me. I mean, I don't get that. So on the road, this will be a game you think they would have bounced back at home and probably won after a slide they've been having. But they're on the road against a hot Buccaneers team. I mean, the Buccaneers, they've been in playoff mode for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they're pulling it out. They're beating quality teams. I believe the rumors are that the organization, the Bucs organization, they're very comfortable with Baker Mayfield as their quarterback going forward. They may draft a guy like in the second or third round or something, to plan for the future, but, they feel like they got their quarterback. That means they probably got to pay Mike Evans into the season, but so, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they got weapons. I always say, I always tell you with the Buccaneers, I always say, like, what version of this team am I getting, man?
Facts.
What version is going to show up, right? And for 3 weeks straight, the real version has been showing up. So it's hard to pick against them in this game because right now they have control of the NFC South. The Saints just lost. The Falcons don't look like a playoff team. It's time to seize control, of your division right now. Put your foot down and beat a quality team. So I think I'm gonna pick the Bucs to pull this out. I think a lot of people are gonna be keeping their eye on the Bucs now. This 4:00 window. I know everyone's been watching the Cowboys game, but I think a side eye. People need to look at the Bucs there because you start thinking like playoff positioning. They got to probably play the Cowboys or Eagles, and it's like the Bucs. It's about getting your reps in, taking care of business, but realizing that, hey, you need to be playoff ready and carry this on, to whoever you play. So, yeah, Bucs for the win for me.
It'd be an interesting matchup, too, before, we'll have to do a big prediction stream when the playoff standings come out, who's going to face who. Because at this point in the season, I think you asked me a couple weeks ago, like, who would you rather face, the Cowboys or the Eagles? I think I said the Eagles, but now definitely the Cowboys. Because if they're going to slip up like that on the road, they're going to have to come to Tampa and play on the road, dude. So, like, that's the one thing. Both those teams are going to have to play on the road versus us at home, a rowdy Tampa fan base. So I would rather take the Cowboys in that.
I think you'd rather the Cowboys on the road.
Yeah, on the road, absolutely. Not at home. Yeah, if you have to go to the Cowboys, it's a different beast in Jerry world. But especially, and my confidence is you're going to go up or down today based on how the next game we're going to talk about, Cowboys Dolphins. Another 1.5 point spread. They're on the road. They're in Florida. So this is a real testament. Like, how are you guys going to play? And I'm gonna be side eyeing that game while my eyes are firmly locked on the Buccaneers. I'm gonna be side eyeing the Cowboys Dolphins. And one of the premier games, if it wasn't for Ravens 49ers tomorrow, this would probably be the game that everyone would be watching, right? The spread tells you why. It's a 1.5 point spread. They don't really know who's gonna win. And it depends because Vegas is just like us. What Cowboys team is gonna show up today? Because they've been consistent for like 6 weeks and then they just dropped off a cliff and only scored however many points it was, 11 points or something like that. So I'm very worried about the Cowboys. Cowboys fans should be worried about the Cowboys, especially with no running game. You need the hallmark like tenements of having a playoff winning team and a Super Bowl chance team is running game and defense, the things that travel, the things that have no variability in them as far as weather goes. You just got to get your guy the ball. You don't have to throw it. There's no wind. There's no slippery, nothing like that. Like, you just got to worry about his feet. And that's the what they don't have and what they haven't had all season is the Cowboys. You're wondering why the Buccaneers have been so consistent because they found their running game and they got Devin White off the defense. That's one problem that I'm looking at today. Devin White is cleared to go. So, Todd Bowles is going to have a decision, man. If Devin White starts playing lackluster football, get him off the effing field as far as the Buccaneers game goes. For the Cowboys, is Micah Parsons going to show up? Is he going to be like Devin White too, where They got paid and now they don't want to play anymore. I don't know what it is with Micah Parsons, but I actually, man, I probably wasn't gonna pick this if the Cowboys didn't lose last week. But I think the Dolphins are going to get that win on the road, man. They have something to prove this season, that they're not just the high fly, flashy offense. We actually have a defense too, and we're not going to be a one and done team in the playoffs. I think that's what the Dolphins are trying to go for, and they have that mentality. Like, they've been booted around and kicked around. When they didn't have Tua, they were like a joke, right? And even without Tyreek, they're not the same people. But Tyreek has had some limited practices to finish out the week. He's cleared to go, and he's probably going to play today. So if Tyreek is in the game, I'm giving the Dolphins the win, especially against the Cowboys defense. It didn't look great against the Bills. So who do you think is going to win, though, in Miami today? Dolphins versus Cowboys.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be a fun game to watch. Like, I'm glad it's at the 4 o'clock window, and,
Right.
after this crazy opening window, this is going to be the primetime game, Cowboys-Dolphins. And, hey, I mean, we just got to keep it real, man. I mean, the Cowboys are not good on the road. This is not a shutdown defense. Dak and that running game, doesn't travel that well. The defense doesn't travel. I mean, this is just the things we've seen this entire season, right? The Dolphins, my thing with the Dolphins was, okay, when a team try to push you around, what are the Dolphins going to do? Like the Titans pushed them around a couple weeks ago, and that was a bad loss for the Dolphins. Then Tyreek Hill got hurt in that game. They didn't look the same. So that very next game, I was like, "Wow, man!" I was actually thinking the Jets was going to beat them last week, the Dolphins, and the Dolphins manned up without Tyreek Hill, without other pieces. They showed a lot of moxie. The Jets defense didn't know pushovers. Now, as bad as the Jets offense is, the Jets defense normally shows up, and they got ran off the field last week. Ended Aaron Rodgers' season last week. That didn't even give him a chance to come back. So the Dolphins showed me a lot of moxie just in that situation. And then if you're watching Hard Knocks on Max, Coach Mike McDaniel was just the in-season Hard Knocks.
He's the best.
This dude, he's like just a great coach. Like he took the blame for why he didn't dial up better plays when Tyreek Hill wasn't on the field against the Titans. Like that's that accountability. That's what carries over to your team. They're like, man, the coach is taking the blame. Like we didn't get it done. And then they show up and they run the Jets off the field. So it's really cool seeing like that behind the scenes when they are coaching up the team, and it worked. So now at home, the Dolphins is like, hey, yes, the Ravens probably are the top team right now. They actually play the Ravens in a couple weeks, I believe. That's going to be a pretty interesting game. But right now, pecking order in the AFC and playoff teams, it's about manning up right now. And I got to believe the Dolphins are extra ready at home with a little more healthy Tyreek Hill. They said he could have played last week. They held him out. So Jalen Waddle balled out. Mostert is having a career year with like 20 touchdowns. Achane is back. I'm just saying, like the Dolphins, the offense is for real. The defense is above average for sure. And you got the Cowboys on the road. All signs points to the Dolphins, man, winning this game, and the sky continuing to fall on the Cowboys, and they probably should get ready to see the Buccaneers in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what all roads are looking like. It's going to line up that way, and I hope it does line up that way too, because that means that Detroit is playing versus the Lions. So that'd be interesting. I'm really hoping that matchup plays out in the playoffs.
The Lions and Rams.
Lions and Rams, yeah. I said Detroit plays against the Lions, yeah. Lions and Rams. Because of that Matthew Stafford going back to the Detroit game, that would be so phenomenal. And then the last game of the Sunday 4 o'clock window, the game everybody's waiting for. Cardinals versus the Bears. The Bears are favored. The Bears at home, and you got an Arizona Cardinals team that's used to that nice warm weather. I think this spread should actually be a little bit more, and I think Justin Fields has got a little bit to prove against Kyler Murray in this game. So I'm the better one. I'm the better guy. I think the Bears actually cover the spread and take the win at home. I want to just get my first prediction in there, but you as the resident Bears fan, how do you feel about this game? You have love for that little guy over there in Arizona, so how do you feel about this game?
It's all love and respect, for Kyler Murray, for sure. The Bears here, I've seen them grow up. this year, man. Like it's really been amazing experience. We're favored at home. It took us like a whole season to get favored at home.
Week 16.
Justin Fields looking better. The team is rallying around their quarterback, saying, hey, Fields got, he got the juice. We don't got to draft no one else. You know what I'm saying? And so, the Panthers, they're going to do what they need to do to keep losing for us so we can take that number one pick. So we're going to go out and show you what we can do. DJ Moore is a bona fide number one receiver. We got a running back by committee, so we kind of work with that running game. Our defense has improved. Like all this is, this is an improvement. This is what you want to see this season for the Bears. And this means that this is a game we really should lose. Like that's what it's all. It's like all these signs are saying that this is a
trap
that we lose. Like Kyler Murray's out there running around trying to make plays, but like you said, that warm weather. You're coming to the Chi-Town, right? Ooh. It's going to be a little cold. You're going to have those extra sleeves on, little Kyler Murray, because our defense is ready. We got Montez Sweat. We got Jalen Johnson. I think he's going to pick one today. You know what I'm saying? Trayvon Edmonds is having a great year as well. Our defense has gotten better. That's really good to see, getting ready for next season, right? Definitely. I am liking our chances today. I am agreeing with Vegas. Finally, I've been waiting all year to say this. To agree with Vegas that yes, we should be favored to win this game, and let's put on a show. An exhibition for next season. And I'm liking how our season's ending because now we're at home next week as well. We get the Falcons with their crappy quarterback play coming into town as well, and we finish the year going to Green Bay. Just because, right? I'm liking the way we're going to end this year. Just a side note right there. Bears for the win. Justin Fields will account for 3 touchdowns. The defense will get 3+ sacks. And the Bears will just, like I said, just send a message to people that, hey, we're going to retool this offseason, but we got our quarterback, we got our top receiver, we got our pass rusher, we got our secondary. I'm enjoying. I can't wait to the highlights on this game, man. I'm going to be clipping highlights on the SylNation Sports Network X Twitter account. We're going to get that on there. This is going to be a fun game. Yeah.
I love it, man. I love the energy out of it too, because you got to enjoy it, man. You got to enjoy these games when you get them, right? How many losses can you sit through, man? When you get a nice win like this, you got to enjoy it.
How many times can you face a team that has less, wins than you, right? So as the Bears fans, I was like, oh man, this is how I felt when we played the Panthers earlier this year. I'm like, oh,
it's been years.
We're obviously better than you. You know what I'm saying? We got the Cardinals. Yeah. We go. It may be a shootout. Kyler Murray ain't no punk, but
that's fair.
We got something for him.
It might be a shootout. I think you think also going out into the sunset with the Bears this season. You think the coaching staff stays?
I think they bought themselves some time. Maybe the offensive coordinator will change, but the coach Eberflus, the head coach, he's a defensive guy, and the defense has gotten better. It's like you almost can't fire him because you've seen improvement, right? But you need to make sure you have the right coordinator with Justin Fields. Go get like a real hot shot, play caller from. I don't know, steal somebody from the Dolphins or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get one of them guys.
49ers.
Yeah, and have them call plays. Yeah, have them call plays for them. The problem is not the defense, and that's, like I said, the head coach specializes in that.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to stand pat more than people think, and we get that number one pick. I say trade that, get like 10 picks. we instant playoffs next year.
I think so too, man. I think they're so close now. Just the way that they've played at the end of the season. We counted them off very early in the season, especially when Justin Fields wasn't playing. But Justin Fields came back, man, and he's like, "Nah, I'm still that dude. I'm still gonna, play and ball out." And it showed the Bears organization that they should keep him, I think, too, and they shouldn't move on from him. That's a good pick, man. Justin Fields is not a bad pick for that organization. It was a good pickup. And he's a great player, and he's a dog, in my opinion. He's got that inside of him. So Bears, find your identity with your defense, and then get Justin Fields some help on the offense. And I think they're a playoff-bound team. And then it's after that, it's like, all right, now how can we manage Justin Fields a little bit more coming to playoffs? But you have to even get to that conversation to have that conversation first. So
Right.
one step at a time, Bears, one step at a time. But the sun is coming up over the horizon for you Bears fans. I'm happy for you, bro. I'm happy for you. I really am. As for the Patriots on Sunday night, whoo, if this man back here ain't coming back, they got no effing chance. That's basically what it is, dude. Even against the Broncos, you're going against the Broncos in Denver. Bailey Zappi's done enough to maybe like make this less of a spread instead of being a 10.5 points. It's 7.5 point spread. Broncos, they played well at home. I think they actually still have an outside chance of making the playoffs. They can win and keep their chances alive. I think they've had a better team, not necessarily a better defense, but their defense is better numbers. I think the Broncos get this win, but I don't think they cover the spread. I think Bailey Zappi and the offense are actually going to try and put some good film on there. I will say this. Hunter Henry's out. Ramondre Stevenson's out. Juju Smith-Schuster's out for the Patriots. So there's a lot of people who are out. But I still think that the Patriots, they're playing for Bill Belichick at this point. They got to. And even though they'll probably get the loss in this game, I still think they cover the spread in Denver. Denver's just, it's too hard of a place to play. And the Broncos, they play there every day, and they've beaten every team there basically this season. So it'd be dumb for me to pick the Patriots, even though I still want to, as a homer, the homer in me. But nah, I think Broncos get the win at home tonight. What do you think's going to happen in Denver, though?
Yeah, I mean, the Denver, they still have something to play for. They're one loss out of the playoff, race basically. Okay. So, they really, I think Sean Payton had a great turnaround year for this team. I mean, they started off like 1-5, now they're 7-7. That's a miracle. It's a miracle there at this point. Russell Wilson, he did cuss out Russell Wilson on the sideline last game, but I mean, we know Russ can only do so much. Yeah, he only can do so much in his career right now. But at home, I think the Broncos again have still a lot to play for. They got a young, scrappy defense. They're trying to work on that running game with Javonte Williams. Is there, it's not sometimes. So, I mean, the Patriots, this spread is surprising. I don't think the Broncos scoring like that, and Bill Belichick, the team is still playing, I guess, either for him or the coordinators at this point. Though I will say, side note, those Bill Belichick rumors that this could be his last year, they're not going away. Now they were saying this morning that Robert Kraft may trade Bill Belichick after this season, bro. This is crazy.
Get out of here with this nonsense.
I'm just saying, bro, they may trade him to a team for some draft picks or something. Bill is going to coach, until he breaks that the all-time win record.
Right.
That's what he has to play for. Yeah. And he's so close to it. I think he's less than 20 games, I think.
Yeah, I think it's like 17 games or something like that.
17, yeah. So, I mean, you saying give me 2 more seasons, I'm going to break that, right? So, with a competent team. So, Belichick, but so it's like with Robert Kraft, he's like, okay, we see what happened when Belichick, he's the GM and the coach. So, if you try to strip away his power, Bill Belichick, he's not going to, no one just cedes power away. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you don't want Bill Belichick drafting, because maybe the Mac Jones thing didn't work, right? And all these draft picks haven't worked the last couple of seasons since Brady left, basically.
Yeah.
Everything's not adding up no more, right? So it's like, I would rather someone else come in there and structure this team. But then Belichick's like, well, hey, I'm out of here then. Let's agree to part ways. I mean, I'm just saying.
If that is the case, I don't know, man. I still think
you've seen the teams, Austin.
You've seen these teams. I know. I'm saying if he says I'm not gonna coach.
He would agree?
I think he may.
You think he would be like, okay, I'll let someone else. I'm saying if he did, I'm just most people that probably knows Bill better than we do. They're like, there's no way he'll want to relinquish that.
I don't know. I feel like though, in my opinion, so many people, and because I've watched it for years, dude, everyone wants to have these opinions and say they know so much. Oh, Bill Belichick would never do that or never do this. And then he fucking does exactly what they said that he would never do. So I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's not out of the realm of possibility where people are saying this standard thing about Bill Belichick. Oh, he's this, he's gonna do this. He would never do this. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, all right, fine, watch me do it. And also, how much of a FU would it be to Rob Kraft if a different GM is hired and they still like have the draft picks are just as bad? And he's like, look it. Is he doing any better, Rob? Is he doing any better? Like, I think that's the level of pettiness that Bill Belichick has. I think he might do something like that where, all right, I'll step down. You know what I'm saying?
And that's probably why I think he won't be there. Because that type of situation right there, if he cedes that power away, who still coaches, let someone else GM, and then the team is still structured bad, that opens up a whole situation where Bill is like, I told you so. It's right. Okay, bro. Like, I was like, can you just leave? Then
he might. But I'm still saying though. I'm still saying like it's not out of the realm of possibility because he has had like not necessarily GMs in the past, but he's had advisors that acted as GMs in the past. Like, yeah, everyone wants to say like, oh, he does everything. Well, it's like, yeah, but not really. Like, he makes the decisions as the general manager, but he has people helping him out make those decisions. Like, he has faux general managers like Michael Lombardi, who was one of them for a very long time. Like, basically he was a general manager at every organization that he went to. When he went to the Patriots, he just had a different like title, but he was essentially, because he wasn't the final say in the decisions. Bill Belichick was. And I think that's just kind of like how this situation could work, where it's more of a committee. And I don't think Bill Belichick is an old dog who can't learn new tricks. I don't think he's that type of guy. I really think people are selling him short and like making him really short-sighted with how he is.
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out, obviously.
We're gonna find out. But as far as this game, though, I'll stay away from that spread.
I think Broncos.
I think they'll put up a fight.
Right, but Broncos probably get the win. Patriots play for something. Play for Bill Belichick. It'd be sweet to see them get the upset win on the road. Honestly, that'd be hilarious. But that's
I'm gonna watch it though. What I've learned this season, is watch these games because Zappy may start balling out. Zeke may go off. You never know.
You never know, dude. And they don't have Mac Jones out there, so they got a chance. Christmas, man. We got Christmas gifts from the NFL. Whee!
Oh, man.
Not just one game on Monday. You thought the game of the week was the only game on Monday? Hell nah. We got the manager, Looker himself, Patrick Mahomes on Monday too, and Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift's boyfriend, also playing on Monday as well. If that's not a marquee for you to see, I don't know what is, dude. You want to see a Karen go off? Watch the Chiefs game, dude. That's gonna happen at one point. I guarantee it. Raiders not getting enough respect on the road. It's the division game. The Chiefs have not been playing well. Albeit, I think the last time they played the Raiders, they did kind of blow them out. But I think the Raiders actually have more to play for. They've come together as a team. We've seen that they can score at least 60 points. Whether that was against the team that was playing or not, that's another debate for another day. But I think the Raiders actually cover the spread, and they give the Chiefs a really, really hard time on the road. The Chiefs haven't been playing great at home. They actually lost to the Bills at home a couple weeks ago in prime time. Christmas Day game. Taylor Swift may or may not be there. Who cares? Right? Who cares? I think the Chiefs have just enough, but they do not. There's no way they cover the spread, in my opinion. There's no way. I don't think they have a chance at covering the spread, but I do think that they get the win at home because they have to, and they can thank Santa Claus for the miracle on Christmas in Kansas City. Well, what do you think's going to happen Raiders versus Chiefs tomorrow, dude?
Yeah, like you said, this spread is weird. It's a weird spread. Not giving respect to the Raiders, a division rival as well in that division was the AFC West, I think that is. So it's like there's no respect right there. The Chiefs are not scoring like that. Just like I was saying with the Broncos, like just the Chiefs, like how do you So the Raiders are gonna put up a fight. I still think the Chiefs will win. Just long story short, but it's gonna be closer than this. Like I think it's gonna be a watchable game, and the Raiders, they're 2 losses out of the playoffs, but they're still in the race. But it's about playing for that new interim coach, Antonio Pierce, because I really hope he does get the job. I hope they make the right decision because the team showed up. It has been showing up for him. without a real quarterback too. Like Aiden O'Connell is not the answer for the Raiders. But
That's a garage sale quarterback, dude.
Yeah, they have a real quarterback. They got, obviously they got the receivers, Devontae Adams and everyone, Jacoby Myers. They got Josh Jacobs as a running back. You got, we say scrappy defense. The Raiders got a scrappy defense. Max Crosby is the top 5 pass rusher, actually. So you got some pieces on that team. So they're not going to go down without a fight. Mm-hmm. But Chiefs for the win. I don't like the spread, though.
Don't touch that spread. Don't touch that spread. Another spread, though, it might be iffy. It depends. I don't know if Tommy DeVito is playing tomorrow night or not. Or tomorrow afternoon, I should say. Giants versus Eagles in Philadelphia. Another division matchup, but this is a bigger spread. I think this is the biggest spread of the weekend. 13.5 points for the Eagles at home. And I guess Vegas is saying, this is your bounce back game, Eagles. You had the road woes when you went on the road and you lost some tough games. And you haven't been playing well at all. Got beat pretty badly, actually, in those last couple of games. And then lost one against Drew Lock. Very surprising game on that against Seattle that they ended up losing. But I think this is a bounce back game. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't cover the spread, though. If Tommy DeVito's in the game, they got a chance. Okay, but we have seen, though, he doesn't really have that much durability. Maybe that's just because he hasn't been playing a lot. And I'm not trying to, down talk Tommy DeVito in any way. I love that guy. But I just think, it's the NFL quarterbacks, you got to be built a little bit different. And Tommy DeVito, a little chicken parmesan, we need a steak out here. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Eagles get the win on the road, a bounce back game. They got to get back into form some way, somehow. I mean, we've seen now, too, without that offensive coordinator, what the Eagles look like. Like, they had Jalen Hurts looking like a completely different quarterback last year than he is now. And injuries might be part of that, too. They've been banged up all season, but this is a game where the Eagles got to show who they are. I think they get the win, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a very close game, just because the Eagles being banged up and the Giants just playing because they can play. And they had a little bit of momentum before they took a loss last week. But what do you think is going to happen in Philadelphia tomorrow on Christmas?
Yeah, I think, Philly should win this game. I mean, they kind of had their adversity, like the 49ers had their loss, losing streak earlier this year. The Eagles having theirs right now. And it's probably the worst time of the year to have this, but also, you can kind of get right before the playoffs, right? So with the Giants, I'm not sure if DeVito's out. I'm not sure because the previous week he had that concussion protocol, came back. Now he gets banged up again. It's probably best to actually let him sit out, to be quite honest. I mean, he's been just kind of going through a lot right there. And it's not like that team is like, they weren't like killing teams. It's just at home. It was that whole, Italian magic, the DeVito sauce, saying at home. They're on the road. Philly is probably the most disgusting fans in the world. They're gonna make sure the Eagles don't lose this game. Jalen Hurts has been hurt all year as well too. No pun intended there, but he has been hurt. And it's just about trying to get right because all they gotta do is kind of take care of business. They'll get their division, title. Probably not the number 1 seed overall. But it's just about getting right for the playoffs. You got 3 games. You got the Giants twice. I think the Commanders once. Let's just get some practice in for the playoffs. That's what this is. This spread may not be as crazy as we think. I just think, the Giants, they really have nothing to play for anymore. So the Eagles definitely for the win. I'll go and I'll go on a limb. I'll give them the spread.
Oh, slam dunk. Let's go, man. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. I'm going to put some money on it. Put your money where your mouth is, bro. I'm just kidding. But I wouldn't be surprised if it plays like that either. But again, though, New Jersey, where Tommy DeVito's family is, not far from Philadelphia. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some DeVitos in the Haas, cheering on their boy if he does get to play. But you're not wrong, though. If he's not feeling great, it might not be a bad idea just to keep him on the sideline. But we finally made it to the game. We've all been waiting for it. We've all been talking about it. We've been talking about this game for like 3 weeks since I did the schedules. Ravens, 49ers. Last time the Ravens went on the road was versus the Rams or versus the Rams or the Chargers. Either way, they went on the road. They put on a clinic in California. So they're not that type of team where they go on the road and they lay an egg. Defense travels, and more importantly, Lamar Jackson travels. No matter where he is, he's gonna ball out. And I think the 6-point spread a little disrespectful.
Surprised that spread.
You know what I'm saying? I think the 49ers, albeit they have an explosive offense, they haven't faced defense like the Ravens or just as of an explosive offense on the other side, because that's the big part of beating the 49ers, keeping them off the field, man. So if the Ravens can do a good job of that and do a good job of keeping themselves in the game, not beating themselves up, I think they can definitely pull, I guess, the upset off the 49ers. I mean, don't talk about it, but we know Lamar Jackson's record against the NFC conference. So I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson getting that upset in the road and showing the 49ers that they're not just going to, ride off into the sunset and win the Super Bowl this season. I think they're going to be a learning curve for the 49ers, and they're actually going to show us, I think the Ravens can show us a way on how to beat the Niners going forward. Like, there's always a way, right? Like, what do you got to do to beat this team? Well, what can you do? It's like, well, you can't stop them. They got this, they got that, they got this. It's like, all right, well, let's figure it out. And that's my favorite part about the NFL is like the chess match of it. You can put your dogs against each other on the line, but like, what are they going to do? How can you adjust throughout the game and all those little different coaching points during the game? It's so fun to watch, and I think this game is not going to disappoint. I think it's going to be a lot of scores, but also some defensive stops at very timely points. And the spread is like I said, disrespectful. I don't think 6 points is going to be covered by the 49ers. And I'm going for Ravens for the win on the road in Santa Clara against, and this is probably going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 50-50 game to rival that one Rams versus Chiefs game a couple of years ago. I wouldn't be surprised if it's that type of game. But who do you have? Ravens versus the 49ers Super Bowl preview, everyone's saying.
Yeah, it's the game of the year, man. I think this is my Super Bowl preview. Like, I think these are the two teams, it's going to come out of their respective conferences. And I just, both teams are complete MVP candidate quarterbacks. Obviously great weapons. Lamar is more of the weapon for the Ravens offense. 49ers has, Debo, CMC, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, great offensive linemen. Like, I mean, the Niners are stacked, right? Both teams have great defenses, scrappy, or just above average. It's just beyond scrappy. Like, these are Super Bowl level defenses that both teams have. Though the Niners probably have a little more punch with the pass rush because Nick Bosa and Chase Young as well. You got Fred Warner, who's probably the best defensive player just in the league. He just makes plays everywhere, right. The linebacker for the 49ers. So, I mean, man, it's really, this is a coin flip game. Like, the spread is weird to me. I think anyone doing minus 649, I think you're gonna lose some money. Put money on that because I don't trust that one. Literally, this game, I woke up this morning not knowing who I was gonna pick for this game. Like, I literally was like, this is because I think the Ravens, they're going to be that number one seed in the AFC. 49ers number one in the NFC. This game has no consequence as far as how their seedings. I think they'll just take care of business no matter what happens after this game. But, man, with it being this close, I got to go with the home team. I think the 49ers are going to win this game. I think it's going to be just like an epic. Every drive is going to matter. Yeah. You know what I mean? Lamar, I think, is going to give us some highlights. I just think at home, the Niners, and Christian McCaffrey, I think they're going to figure out a way, or Debo, one of them is going to make some big play. It could be a game-winning drive. I think Purdy is going to lock up the MVP with this game as well. It's going to be a great – I'm just looking forward to this game. And then after that, the Ravens still got to play the Dolphins. I think they'll take care of business, lock up the AFC, and then let's come back and do it again on a neutral field in a Super Bowl. I think this would be a great game, to see. And I think Lamar may get him in the Super Bowl. I just kind of throw that out there. But this game, I just think at home, the Niners, it's so evenly matched, man. This game, it's just going to be fun to watch, like I said, every drive on Christmas Day. You know what I'm saying? So look that's gonna be my gift to me. Niners win, holding off the Eagles, you know what I'm saying, to keep that number 1 seed. And Ravens, hey, you know, you may lose kind of a sort of shootout here. Just regroup and be ready for the Super Bowl rematch.
Right. And I guess that is, you know, if they do lose, the Ravens, if they do lose, a lot of the times when this sort of game happens before the Super Bowl, usually the team that loses goes back and wins the Super Bowl.
Goes back and
Yes.
against Patriots.
Yeah. I've got bad taste in my mouth. Bad taste in my mouth whenever I have to bring that up, dog. So I know how that goes. Yeah. So if the 49ers win, enjoy it while you got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But don't touch that spread with a 10-foot pole, man. 6 points.
No. It's gonna be a fun game. That's just gonna be a fun game. Every play is gonna be like magnified. Like, oh, you know, he made this catch. Like,
oh no.
You know? Yeah, right. And yo, I'm gonna say, because I was gonna lean on the whole Lamar Jackson versus NFC, but if it was at home, I think the Ravens had a chance of actually blowing them out.
Mm-hmm.
But still, Lamar versus NFC, that's a real stat out there.
It's a real stat.
If something happens when the NFC sees Lamar, they see him like once, like they probably saw him once in his career so far, if at all. So if they don't got no tape for their scheme against him, it's barbecue chicken, as they say. Like you know, so if Lamar figures out that they got no scheme for him, this can get ugly in San Francisco. But I'm just going off of that. The Niners, they got great coaching, and I'm sure they scouted Lamar enough to be like, okay, we're not going to fall for this at home. So it's going to be a fun game, though. I'm looking forward to this.
And one thing I guess you can say, it's not apples to oranges, even in that sort of comparison, but they do face against Kyler Murray a lot, who is, dynamic in a lot of ways, not nearly as dynamic as Lamar Jackson is, but still sort of the same thought process, I guess. To go and try and hold them down. But I still think the Ravens get enough. I think Lamar Jackson lays the Yule log on top of the 49ers tomorrow.
If Lamar wins this game, he will be the MVP. I really believe it'll be no way for him not to get it. If you take out the 49ers on the road,
facts.
You probably give him the award at that point.
Taking out 2 MVP candidates on the road too, with being CMC and Purdy on top of that. So yeah, big game tomorrow night, and you can see it down below the Ravens 49ers. No recap tomorrow. It's Christmas. Come on, y'all. We got some time. Yeah, enjoy the time off. Enjoy time with family, and enjoy the football. Obviously, we'll probably be sleep/opening presents through the Giants, Eagles, Chiefs, and Raiders. But you know where to be. Ravens versus 49ers. I think Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will be on that game. The A team. I'll be on that game. Yeah, huge game. But you want to say anything to the people and promo anything before we get out of here, man?
Like you said, just enjoy the holidays. Definitely, everybody be safe this weekend. I've been taking a couple of days off. I've been working on my Rebel Moon review. I may drop that after the holiday. Just want to kind of just take some time off, kind of rest the brain a little bit. But I'll be taking in sports and everything. So, like you said, we won't be on tomorrow. Enjoy your time with the family, and after tomorrow, I'm ramping up my NBA stuff, man. I'm ramping up some NBA stuff for the champions as well as we go to the playoffs for NFL. So this is the best time of the year, man, for multiple reasons. Also, not just.
Yo, bro. Hey, man. I just gotta make a joke. I'm glad that you can join along. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Israel, Money Train, Necron here earlier too. And obviously Carlos will probably be on a replay. Sickness was the first person here today. So shout out Sickness. Shout out to everyone for being here and being a part of the SylNation Sports Network family, on top of being a part of the SylNation family, because that's a whole wider region of people. But everyone who comes to our little neck of the woods to talk sports, we really do appreciate y'all for engaging with us and talking to us about your favorite team, and for telling me I got bad takes. That's fine. I'm gonna keep giving my takes. I'm gonna keep giving them, dog. I'm gonna keep giving them. But for me and Syl, to all you, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We'll be back on Tuesday for Power Rankings, And maybe we'll do some power rankings on the best Christmas gifts we got. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something like that. We'll see. We'll see what we come up with. We gotta do a Christmas power rankings of some sort. Maybe like the best decorations. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out for y'all. We'll be festive for everybody. But like I said, appreciate y'all for being here. Go watch some football. Go spend some time with your family, and just go enjoy Christmas. All right, that's the whole point of the year. So from me to you, from Syl to you. Till next time, everybody. Peace. Just gonna end it.